I'm Jaimie Sach. I'm the Chief Risk Officer for Zurich Australia, which covers both their life insurance and their property and casualty insurance business. I come into work, get the bus and then a train into the office here in North Sydney. Why did I go into actuarial? Because I felt it was a continuation of pure mathematics, but in a business context, and it was the business challenge that doing maths in a business environment brought. I think actuaries start with an advantage because when they're discussing, let's say, strategic issues at the board, they actually have the fundamental understanding of what are the processes underlying that. When they are looking at the accounts or looking at the profit emergence, they can then rationalise what has actually caused that. I was in the CFO role, but I had a project team that was reporting in through me that was involved in actually rewiring OnePath Life to actually create 2 lines of business. And just seeing how they actually excelled in doing that, that to me was probably my most satisfying moment in my career. And watching them actually achieve that separation first time was quite stunning to watch, actually. In order to understand how complex this sale was, you have to understand that OnePath Life wrote both insurance and superannuation and investment business, and has written both those 2 lines of business for the last 50 to 70 years. From one very, very large company, we ended up having to create 2 smaller companies that were totally operational on their own. And that was very complex. And one of the ways someone put it was that we actually ended up rewiring a house completely without demolishing it and ending up with 2 houses. You need to make certain that the numbers actually in there are 100% right, because they are the basis that someone will assess the value of a company. People are looking for informative answers that are accurate. So that precision is essential in the sales process. I think everything that you do when you're young sets up who you are today, and even stuff you did last year or the year before changes you anyway. Being an actuary, one of the things that it gives you is a breadth and a depth of knowledge. I think what that brings is someone who can actually interpret the financials and relates it to what's happening in the business. And that is one of the skills I believe that actuaries bring. They actually take very complex financial outcomes and actually distill them down to people to actually say, what is the business driver of this? And an actuary that can do that and can explain how something that's materialised in the P&L, what has actually caused that, and explain it in a way that someone can then understand it and then take action to create a different outcome, that is a key skill of an actuary. And especially as an appointed actuary, you do have to consider whether customers are in any way disadvantaged or policyholders are in any way disadvantaged, because it's actually one of the requirements of the Life Act that boards especially and the appointed actuary must consider equity, and if the interests of the shareholder and policyholder are in conflict, then the interests of the policyholder must always take precedence.